Her errands. Although he had tried hard, Salvador could find no work in Ensenada. He was too old to shine tourist shoes or sell lottery tickets. Now that he'd quit school, he roved about with a group of boys his own age, smoked cigarettes they gave him, and talked of automobiles and motorcycles, though no one owned one. Boast, strut, and smoke, that was all they did. The nearest Salvador had ever come to his dream of owning a car was to acquire an old rusting set of truck wheels, which he set tenderly behind the house. Not one of his friends brought home more than a couple of centavos a week to his family, but each and every boy came home to eat. Ay de mi. She was being too hard on them. It was not their fault they could find no work. Lupita sighed as she looked from the Virgin's calm, smiling face to her yawning baby brother. The neighbor women were right in what they had said about Papa's death at sea saving them money. Mama, Lupita knew, would have had to go to the moneylender to pay for a coffin and a new shirt. Yet it would have comforted them all to see Papa in his coffin here in the house, with 2 candles at his head and 2 more at his feet. His friends and neighbors could have come to pay their last respects, and for 9 nights in a row say the rosary for him. Then she, who had been his favorite, would be able to take her marigolds, the flowers of the dead, to his grave on the special Day of the Dead. Lupita touched the little silver cross on its chain around her neck. It was her most precious possession, a gift from her father at her confirmation. Now it was doubly precious to her. Again she asked herself what was to happen to them. Now, Uncle Antonio had a sick wife who went to the doctors all the time and required expensive medicine. He was not a rich man. The raw oysters he sold on the street were bought by poor Mexicans, never by rich Yankee tourists. No, Uncle Antonio could not help them, nor could the neighbors, who were as poor as the Torres family. Everyone who lived on the hillside around them was poor, some poorer than they. What shall we do? Lupita asked herself for the 3rd time as she looked over her shoulder at her mother, who stared sadly at the 3 young children lined up against the wall. Salvador was standing beside Mama. He had a look of pain on his face, as if he had swallowed something that hurt him. Acting the part of a man, he had refused to weep, but Lupita knew that he also mourned. Ay de mi, Salvador. He was the head of the family now, and he had no work. A man must have work. What could she, Lupita Manana, do?